I'd like to start the Public Safety, Health, and Welfare meeting on November 5th, 2025 at 7:02 p.m. Those in attendance are committee members Madden and Shimsky, Councilman Limpert, Councilman Murray, Councilman Carl, Council President Broussard, Mayor Jones, the Directors of HR, Economic Development, Safety, Recreation, and the Chief of Staff. There's one item on the agenda, 2025-102, a resolution authorizing the mayor to purchase and finance through the Hotel Motel Fund 2025 Polaris Ranger XP 1000 utility vehicle, and further authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary to effectuate such purchase and declaring an emergency. Let the record reflect the finance director is here. Mayor Jones.
Mr. Chairman, Director Schofield and her staff spoke to your committee regarding this purchase. If there were any additional questions, we would be happy to answer them this evening.
Yep. For the record, Director Schofield, can you elaborate what was in the email about the?
Yes. So thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Chair. After last week's committee, was that just last week? Yeah, last week's committee meeting. I worked with Chief Wagner and Sergeant Petro, who was here to talk with you last week about the vehicle, and pull together some additional information, mostly or mainly how much we think it would cost to finish outfitting the vehicle with lights and sirens and the med sled, or the rear, the rescue litter transport slide part of the vehicle in the back. Don't make me laugh, Max. And so what we did is went and got an estimate. We have $32,000 in the budget set aside for the purchase of the vehicle this year. That, as you know, the vehicle itself is $30,499. The remainder of that $3,200 or $32,000 will allow us to get the majority of the lighting and siren package that we need to put on the vehicle. The med sled equipment and supplies will be $4,000 plus shipping that we would put in the temporary budget for next year, so that we can fully equip the vehicle at the beginning, the beginning part of next year. Another question that we followed up on was the amount and type and cost of any training for our police officers to operate the vehicle. There's no cost that we anticipate with that. Neither Westlake nor Bay Village had to pay for any kind of training for their officers to learn how to operate the vehicle. They already operate heavily equipped patrol cars. Many of them have the similar vehicles for their own personal use at home. So we don't anticipate any actual cost for training. And the first group that would be assigned to use this vehicle would be our members of the SWAT team, because it would be used primarily for search and rescue.
Okay. Any questions from committee? With that, Mr. Council.
Thank you. Director, Sergeant Petro put in there that he wants this to be enclosed for all season. Correct. Is that the price of 30-some thousand to have the one that's all enclosed?
Yes.
Okay, because
that's what
he
we
didn't say
for.
That, but I just wanted to make sure that
that is
the enclosed one.
Correct.
And if I could, Mr. Chair, one more. Do we know the lifespan of these things? I'm not sure how much we're going to be using these or that, or is it anticipated that we're going to be needing to replace this every 3-4 years or something like that as a cycle, like a police car?
It's not going to. We don't anticipate that it would have the wear and tear that a regular patrol vehicle would have. it will be used primarily for special circumstances, SWAT search and rescue and those types of things. That's the primary source. It can be used for other, like we talked about event control and crowd management, crowd control, but its primary use is for search and rescue.
Two questions. One is, you said this was in the budget, but I don't remember us talking about it as far as like capital expense during the budget. Like, did we talk about this and I just missed it? This is the first time we did that this year.
I do not believe it came up in the hearing, no.
Okay. And then my other question was, you said it's gonna be used for SWAT purposes primarily. Why isn't this just part of the SWAT? Like, why aren't we just going in with the other communities and adding this to the SWAT assets?
Well, SWAT meaning our SWAT officers are specially trained for big incidents. So a search and rescue, they would be the first line of officers called in. But it would be available to any officer who is on shift if we got a call that someone had fallen in the metro parks or are stuck in a culvert, which did recently happen, as Sergeant Petro referenced in his talking points last week. It would be available for all patrol on all shifts. The question that had been posed to me was who would be trained and who would be using it, and the first line of defense would be our members of our SWAT team.
No, I get that. I guess, so they have like the community special unit, right? Across the other communities. This sounds like the same kind of equipment that we typically go in with other communities and purchase for these special vehicles that go into kind of the broader community assets of special response. Right?
But because this is a smaller vehicle, communities are buying them individually for their own immediate use. If it's for the regional SWAT team, it could be housed in Lakewood, or it could be housed up in Bay Village, and it's not here where we can roll it right out. So this would be North Olmsted's vehicle.
Okay.
I mean, just like with our technical rescue team equipment through the fire department, those jointly operated vehicles are stored in any one of the cities in the West Shore. So they're not immediately available, and they won't be here where we can get it out and get going.
Okay. Can I have one follow-up? So I think last week they mentioned it was used probably about 20 to 30 times from the city of Westlake's experience. How many of those were like immediate need that they needed it and immediately used it versus things that they had sort of planned to use or do we know that?
I don't know the
You don't
breakdown
know
of that.
Okay.
I don't even know that they do.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Let the record reflect, the law director has joined the meeting.
Disregarding
Councilman Mann.
Councilman Lempert's question, I think Officer Petro or Sergeant Petro said 12 of their incidents were like
Immediate.
daily, immediate use. And the rest were community engagement.
Sorry, guys. Okay. Trying to turn it down.
I have a question for the director. Just where does the Metro Park responsibility in general with the search and rescue lie? And how many of the vehicles do they have like these?
I do not know what the Metro Park fleet is. We help because part of both Barton Bradley and part of the Rocky River Reservation are within North Olmsted city limits, so we help and assist. Sometimes we're the primary, sometimes we're the backup. I don't know what their fleet includes.
Let the record reflect, Councilwoman Heeman has joined the meeting and left. So with that, I'll make a motion to recommend to the rest of the council resolution 2025-102 and ask for a second. Seconded by Councilwoman Heeman. All in favor? Aye. Passes 3-0. And that concludes my meeting at 7:12.
Okay, the caucus meeting of November 5th, 2025 will now come to order at 7:15 p.m. Present are council members Broussard, Blumen, Lippert, Madden, Murray, Scarl, and Shinsky. Present is the mayor, the directors of law, finance, human resources, economic development, safety, recreation, the chief of staff, and guests. If there are no additions or corrections, the caucus meeting minutes of October 21st, 2025 are approved as written. Regarding suspension, there is one item on the agenda being requested for suspension this evening. That is Resolution 2025-103, which is on first reading. Mayor Jones or your designee.
Director of Law will.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President, thank you, Mayor. Under the charter, the Director of Law is responsible for retaining outside counsel. We've come to you recently on the issue of Squire Patton Boggs to have outside counsel available to us to assist in the issue of financial matters concerning economic development. We've had the CRAs, TIFs, they're experts in JEDs, they're experts in NCAs as far as that goes, but we've relied upon their expertise in these matters in the past, and we would like to have them available in the future when matters arise, because sometimes these require some quick answers and some quick research. We came to our attention that Mr. Balthus with Squire Patton Boggs left. He went on to Quebec Rock LLP. In fact, a number of Squire Patton Boggs attorneys went with him, and they rejoined with Greg Daniels, who used to be an attorney that worked with the city of North Olmsted, and they all reformulated over at Quebec Rock. So, as of now, our current arrangement with Squire is not likely to be sufficient, given the fact that their team has left for another law firm. So Russ Balthus is now at Cupid Black. His request is to enter into a contract with them. The hourly rate is the same as we were paying with over and Square Hogs. And that's my request to you, so that we have that contract, because I have it done in my office, and it's a good order. So that's my explanation for that. And Mayor, if I may, and Mr. President, any questions specifically about particular projects can be addressed to anyone so inclined. Same projects kind of in the pipeline. We had some of them started and some of them were stopping because we no longer had an attorney.
Mr. President, specifically the matter in which we went into executive session for is still ongoing, that Mr. Balthus was engaged with us with. The matter of the Joint Economic Development District with the township has essentially come to a halt right now, because we have no one to give us final blessing on the contract in order to post it from our end. So those matters are effectively come to a complete stop without the expertise that the law director has ascertained from Mr. Balthus' new firm.
It just one, I talked to Mr. Upton about this, but just from your perspective, there's no difference in capabilities or scale or any reason to change the contract terms based on the new law firm, right?
No, I think, again, the two of the lawyers are lawyers we've already worked with. We're familiar with their skill set. They've done well for us in the past. It's on an as-needed basis. You'll note in there, Board of Control, we don't just hire someone and turn them loose. If we're gonna engage in a new project, I've requested and I've included in here that Board of Control would approve that before we just, it's not a rolling representation where you can just keep going and going and going. We wanna make sure that there's a public notice that we're changing and they're gonna provide services in another area. And then you'll know too, so.
Ooh, lots of hands. Councilwoman.
Thank you. So, do we have a retainer that will be affected by this with Square, or we don't? We were just at an hourly rate, so we will, yeah.
Correct.
And so we're not, that's fine, thank you.
Have an outstanding retainer with Square.
Councilman Stewart?
Director Upton, with the new firm, have they come back with a recommendation for this JED that we're supposed to see sometime in the future? We haven't seen it yet, I guess. Or do we have to wait until they're signed a contract?
Yeah, Mr. Balthus was reviewing everything, did not complete his review prior to the end of his time at Squire, so it's.
We're waiting for the
Correct.
Mr. President, municipal lawyers that work with municipalities know the golden rule is that if you don't have a contract signed and approved by council and the mayor and you perform work, you won't get paid. So, that is black letter municipal law. You must have it all the T's crossed and I's dotted, or you're working for free. So that's the no answers yet.
Got it. Thank you.
Councilman Murray?
Yes, just one question. Is there any issue with going from one law firm mid-project, for lack of a better word, into another law firm? Or is that a pretty seamless transition?
Mr. President, if I may,
Yeah.
that's a seamless transition, and
Okay.
especially since we have the same lawyer.
Okay.
He's got the case file in his brain, so it should be a very seamless transition.
If I may add too, if we were not going with Kutak and another firm, we would be paying the lawyer to get up to speed with the stuff that these lawyers already know. So we'd be paying them to get to know us.
Did you have a follow-up? Councilwoman?
Thank you, Mr. Murray. So with regard to work product that was done under Squire, they can take that with them, or they have to start over, or Squire retains it as their work product?
You know, I don't know what their policy is on something like that. I mean, we don't have, we can provide, the product that we were asking for was a review of some of the agreements that
We have
provided.
their work product that we can provide back to them.
They've been working on things that we provided them.
And
It
our
was-
engagement letter doesn't prohibit that? Well, all right, I'll leave that to you guys, I guess. Those are my questions, like, you mean they just get transfer work and nobody, is upset? Transfer the bodies, not the work, that's how
kind of what's happening.
thank you.
They're lawyers, they'll work it out on the backside.
Okay. Are there any objections from council to suspension? All right, seeing none.
Thank you.
We'll move into assigning legislation. Resolution 2025-103, which we just discussed, which is on suspension tonight, is assigned to finance. Resolution 2025-104 is assigned to environmental control. Which leads us into scheduling committee meetings for next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, November 11th, 2025. Councilman Madden, would you like to schedule environmental control meeting?
Yes, Mr. President, I'll schedule it for, we starting at 7 a.m., 7 p.m.
PM.
And until we're done, I guess.
Very good. Does anyone on council have anything else they wish to bring up this evening? Anything from the administration?
No, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Seeing nothing else, this caucus meeting of November 5th, 2025 is adjourned at 7:23